Are you enjoying these videos as much as I enjoy making them for you and helping you save money around the house? I hope so. Okay. Chances are that's a nail that's stuck out. I'm going to take my little putty knife and yeah, I can tell there's a nail right there. And see, I can tap that in. And you might feel it and say, hey, that's fine. Why do anything else? Well, I go the extra mile because that nail was already loose. If you just do it to there, that nail is still loose in there. You didn't do it hard enough, and I don't want to dimple the wall and try to hit this in at an angle. Now I've got a bigger area to patch. Let's take my nail set, the biggest one I got. Usually you can get nail sets in 3 different sizes, and you get the 3-pack, and then you got a small, medium, and large one. I happen to have 2 that are all beat up. And I always have to look at the tips to see which one's the biggest. I don't even use them for nails that much anymore. I really need to get a new set. I try to find the head of the sheetrock nail. You want to try to find the middle of it because you're going to use your nail set to tap that in. And see, I don't know if I'm hitting the exact middle. Okay, I think I got to lower it a little bit. There. I could tell it pushed in just ever so little. And yeah, you could have done it and just tapped it with the hammer and called it good and walked away. It's going to pucker itself again maybe 6 months from now, not next week. So if you want to do it that way, be my guest. I'm not doing it that way though. Get my caulking in here. Get it pooched out just a little bit. Middle, out, middle, out, middle, out, middle, up, and out. Okay? There. I could paint over that, but I do a little trick after it dries, and for bigger ones like that, I'll look at that tomorrow and see if it's puckered a little bit in, and generally it does. It just depends. How good of a job do you want on your paint job? You could paint right over that tomorrow and call it good. Well, I'm not painting the walls tomorrow. I'm doing other things. So I just have to remember, okay, one of the things tomorrow that I have to do is go over these different areas, especially up in there, right? And the bigger ones on the wall, and anything that was big. I'm gonna do exactly the same thing that I just showed you just now. Okay? Then the next day, the very next day, I will take my my caulking. Okay, wherever I see it, like that one. I'm not going to do it now because I can't do it yet. If I do it right now, I'm going to mess up, first off, the surface of that patch. Secondly, it's not going to turn out as good. Thirdly, it could still pucker when I get all done. Okay, so tomorrow I'm going to put a second little layer on there and patch it the same way with my caulking. And then the next day, I'm going to take my caulking and I'm going to dab it. Dab, 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 dab. And then I'm going to take my putty knife and I'm going to go about from the middle and then flatten it down so it mimics the texture around that patch. Now see, that one down low, I could get by with just putting one little thin layer tomorrow and not doing the texture over the top because it's down low. Nobody's probably ever going to see it. It's probably going to be behind the cabinet. We're going to have a cabinet there with a TV on top of it. So you're probably never going to see it. But you could see that. Now technically that could be behind the TV. But if the TV doesn't go there, then maybe you're going to see the patch. It's almost at eye level. So see, tomorrow I'll put a little bit of thinness on there, boom, boom, the 2 biggest holes. And then the next day I'll wait and I'll just put a couple down, dap, 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 and then with my putty knife and then look at it. And the key is when you're doing that textured knockdown with your caulking, and not too many people do this, by the way, then you've got to make sure that all the surrounding area of the caulking is flat, and then you could after you flatten it, you could take your finger and kind of rub around the outside surface or something, because the last thing you want is to put too much on there and not pay attention. Then you're going to have a line and you're going to fill up too much of it, and you might see where you went boop the line a little bit if you have a semi-gloss paint or eggshell or satin or something like that. You don't want that, okay? But I do it just enough, and I generally don't have to wipe it with my finger at the end. Okay? All right. Well, there's your learning for today. See you next time. Here's one more tip. Depending how big your little hole is, you can fill it up and let it extend out beyond the surface of the sheetrock wall of your drywall. Okay, you don't have to have it perfect, because as you go from the middle out, from the middle down, from the middle to the right, from the middle to the top, you're actually depressing a little bit more into the hole. So you don't have to be perfect, you know. See, most of that other stuff went down into the hole. That's if you have big enough holes. If you got just a little pinhole from a little picture hanger or something like that, of course, there's only so much you can do. So you can make it almost flat or whatever, okay? Hey, patch away. Now, since we're still right here, this is where that TV wall mount is, and I think you can see that it's dirty. It's actually smudge marks where they had their bracket up against the wall. Well, if you paint over that with one coat of paint, do you really think it's going to cover? You could put Kills over it, and I may, if I can't get it off with my simple green, I got just a scouring pad. Let's just see how well this does. Sometimes over marks like that, you have to kind of leave it and then go on with a little bit more. Let that soak in. Here's a pencil mark here. There's only so much of that I can do because I just did those patches. I should have done this first, damn it, nabbit, right? I could have. I could wait towards the end of the day, or actually here, I'm getting it. I'm just being careful. Not to get it in too close to the screw patch. Okay, now I can go back around that and see. Okay, look at that one. Okay, remember what they look like, okay? A little bit of elbow grease. And I don't want to just leave that like that, because then the residue is going to show like that. Okay? I'm just taking my sponge around it. Let's just see how well that does. Look at that. What do you think about that? Keep wrenching my sponge out. How long did that take? Look at the video clip. How long did that take? I don't think I'm going to have to do any kills on there. You know, once that dries, if you decide you're going to put a little Kills, hey, all you have to do is put a little bit, and that's it. Okay. Now on this wall, if I stand back, I can also see there's more marks there, isn't there? And then there's some there. That was probably from the bottom of the bottom of the TV. Maybe it was tilted and that was rubbing on the wall, or they had a cabinet there. Here, look at this. See this red stuff? Let's just try to get that off. If I leave that red stuff there, it could bleed through the paint if you don't put kills over it. If you forget, let's say. Gone. I use that simple green for just about all my cleaning needs. Whatever it doesn't remove, then I have to try something else or whatever. Especially on the walls, then I'll use the kills. But it got it off. Okay, so I know I need to keep working at it over there. And then as I stand back, see how it looks discolored right in there? I don't think that's somebody trying to touch up the paint. My guess is there might have been a chair there and people might have been leaning up against the wall or something else. I really don't know what that is. Here's something here, here's some more up there. See, there's a little bit up there. And I'll go around with my bucket, with my sponge. This one's got the scouring pad. This one I used so much, the whole back tore off or just wore out because I've been using it so much. I can still use that if I want, and my simple green. And this was a clean bucket. You know, after a while, you do this for a little bit, for an entire room. And when it gets really super dirty, just dump it and get yourself some more. Okay? And keep working on your walls. And pretty soon, you're going to have your walls, all your smudges off of there, all your crayon marks, all your any other kind of mark that can come off with a simple green. Whatever is left, then you take your kills to. See, here's some more over here. If I stand back long enough and squint hard enough, I can see all kinds of junk on this wall. Here's something else up here. They had something here, and here's, see, I'm going to have to caulk that to push that all in. See how it's puckered all around the edge? If you just put caulking in there with your finger and do that, that's what you're going to get. But no, I go the extra mile. I push all those edges in with my little tiny screwdriver. Then I put a little dab in there and go from the middle out, from the middle up, from the middle to the left, from the middle to the right. And see that round thing right there? I have no idea what that is, but I'll bet you I can get it off with my simple green. Here's some more junk. I get it off with the simple green, and I'll do all that until I know, hey, I've done the best I can, and then I'll walk around all of the areas, okay, wherever I'm going to paint, and any smudges, any things that are left, then I'll use the kills on it. Now see, look at all this right here. See, I haven't cleaned that yet. I don't want to just put kills over it. If it's all dirty stuff, I'd just soon get the simple green and clean it first. It doesn't take long with the simple green you saw. Okay, there, see, there's another spot right there. I'll go around and look around all the light switches, because evidently and usually you're going to see all kinds of marks or discoloration like this around your light switches, or you know. So I'll do a once over on the light switches. See down in here, the cover plate just went to there, but see this discoloration around there? That's people's dirty fingers from, you know, the last 3 or 4 years. And so I'll go around and check all that. And then look down there. There's some more things. And so I'll get my construction light out, or well, in here I got my light. You know, that still works. But see, I see some discolorations right there. Boom, boom. So I'll just look over here. Here's another little spot. Look at that over there. That looks like paint touch up and they use the wrong color. See? But see, here's some more holes. Boom, boom, boom. There's some black marks all around them. If I don't get those black marks, and if I say, screw it, I'm just gonna paint over that. And I'm only putting one coat. Well, guess what? chances are that mark's gonna show. That's gonna show. That's gonna show. That's gonna show. After one coat, that's gonna show. Some of it might not show, but other areas will. There's some more around that. Okay? Be good. Be like you're like Mr. Inspector. This is your house, your condo, your paint job. How good of a paint job do you want? Do you just want to slap it on and go and blow and say, I'm so proud of myself because I got it all done in one day? Is that you? Well, if it is, good. You can only be as good as you can be, right? So if that's the best you got in you, have at it. But if you want to spend some time, you want it to look good, especially when it's all done and all said and done, and you're sitting here watching TV and you keep seeing that hole over there that you should have done something to, or those smudge marks that bled through your paint. And now you put some more paint on there and bled again. You know why? Because if you got something behind there, you can put 10 coats of paint on there, and if it's a crayon or if it's something that keeps bleeding through, or a watermark, water stain that keeps bleeding through the paint, you can put 10 coats of paint on there and it's still going to bleed through because you didn't put any Kills on there. A Kills primer, not regular primer, a Kills primer, K-I-L-Z. That's for water stains. You can get some other ones for water stains. I don't have any water stains, but if you do have a water stain, you got to use the right primer for it, because if you don't, it's going to keep showing and keep showing and keep raising its ugly head when you think, man, how long? I put 5 coats on this. What do I have to do? Well, that's because you didn't use the right primer to get rid of your water stains on the wall. Okay? All right. That's enough for right now. I got to get back to work.